Hey everyone, welcome to Crypt Fails Inc. My name is Julio Ibarra. I'm joined as always by Susi, Posselt, Harley, Richardson, Ariz, Farhan, Israk, and Neal, Patel. And as you guys can tell, we have a little bit of a format change at the beginning of this season. And we're going to be doing a little bit of an intro and discussing things about the podcast and news, the business, if you will, at the beginning now. And if you don't like it, tough. Sorry, but you didn't leave enough reviews to influence me one way or another.
Damn.
Hi, we're back.
So savage.
Oh, hi, guys.
Oh, hi. Oh, hi there.
I haven't seen you guys in so long.
I know, right?
We're back after a whole 2 weeks.
Yeah.
2 whole
Wow. 2 semanas in Spanish.
A lot can happen in 2 weeks.
Alright, so the listeners already know what game we're playing because you can see it on the title. And
Hey,
this is going to be
fair.
session 0 for this, but none of these guys know what we're playing yet.
Which
they have their
guys?
guesses.
It's a trap.
Farhan couldn't fucking contain himself. But it's finally time to reveal the game that we're playing. And it is indeed a Powered by the Apocalypse game.
Okay.
But it works a lot differently from Monster of the Week. This is a game called Masks.
Huh.
Uh-huh.
Like identity? Okay.
And I'm gonna take a minute to send everybody their sheets and everything. This episode is gonna be heavily edited, and I'm gonna be taking a lot of pauses. There's gonna be a lot of breaks and stuff, but you listeners will not notice anything
So
unless
why
I
are you
put
telling
like a little
saying
transition or
something
something.
anyways?
In case I leave this in for some
I feel
reason.
like you should leave in at least a couple of awkward pauses just so that the listeners also feel that awkward silence.
So that
and
they
they're
get that
like,
experience.
What the fuck? Did I do it?
So that they leave and never listen to us again?
Or they look at their phone
Or
and they're
laugh.
like, what the fuck's wrong with my phone? It says it's playing, but
yeah,
it's not.
no thanks. Alright, so I need everybody's email addresses to send the sheet.
Okay, mine is fuckyourmom@aol.com. Okay, I know which move I'm gonna use.
Alright, I've sent them all the links. You listeners haven't noticed any difference until I just mentioned it just now. But
Wait, he sent us all the links, guys.
I sent them all the links, I did.
I love them.
So Masks is a game of young superheroes. Think of Teen Titans, Young Justice, Invincible, things like that.
Ooh, I'm gonna make a theme song.
Now, having that in mind, the game is going to play very different than what we usually play. We're all adults, even though some of us may not sound that way.
What are you talking about right now, bitch?
I don't know who you're talking about.
I think he's talking about us, Harley. Both of us.
Ugh, I feel so offended right now.
Regardless,
You should be.
You too, Neal.
I
Neal, your
would-
voice is very adult.
we do want to stay away from certain adult themes, specifically,
Sex.
thank you, Susie, yes.
Don't fuck children.
So, this is all within context.
Both. Don't fuck comma children. Don't fuck children, period.
Thank you, Susie. Yes, this is all within context. Obviously, if it's table talk and we're making jokes, it's not a big deal. I just don't want any uncomfortable situations we're playing underage characters and you know,
Right.
certain things come up. I mean, things can happen off screen. We've all been teenagers and we know how that shit actually goes down.
Yeah, like you say you're going to the movies, but then
I'm
you just
still a
fuck in your
virgin,
car.
so I don't know what you're talking
So,
about.
cool. Well, just gonna get that little caveat out of the way at the beginning.
Neal's a virgin, what?
So the whole focus of this game revolves around influence. And the way that works is certain players have influence over other players or other NPCs, and NPCs have influence over players. That influence can be used to do certain things. Literally to influence roles, or to influence that character's actions, or to, more importantly, influence how that player character views themselves. The core ideal of the game is that these young superheroes are trying to define who they are and what kind of person they're going to be. That ties into the whole mechanic of adults and our teenage superheroes. See, adults are already set in their ways. They don't shift around as much as the player characters do. The adults are also more powerful, but they're stubborn, hard-headed, short-sighted. They have a narrow view of the world because they've already focused themselves into what they have decided that they are. That's the whole point of this game, is for the player characters to figure that out. Now, to help you do that, instead of stats like we have in a lot of RPGs, we have labels. If you guys look at the character sheets, you can see your labels at the top left. The labels are danger, freak, survivor, superior, and mundane. These labels are going to shift up and down through gameplay. One day, you may be more of a danger. The next day, you may be more of a savior or a freak. It all depends on what happens in the game and the influence that the other characters have over your character.
Ooh, that's cool.
I like that.
Yeah.
Tied into that, combat doesn't work the same in this game as other RPGs.
Okay.
We don't have traditional health points or, death saves, things like that. Very professional. Could you please silence that?
I'm professional.
The way it works is this game uses conditions. And you can see those below the labels. The conditions are afraid, angry, guilty, hopeless, and insecure. So certain moves will ask you to mark a condition. These conditions have certain negative effects mechanically that you can see right there on the sheet. Like afraid gives you -2 to directly engage a threat, which is one of the basic moves.
Uh-huh.
Now, that's mechanically what they do. But the whole idea of this game is that you're trying to play this character, right? I mean, it's a role-playing game. So when you mark a condition, that's when it acts as a tag of, this is what your character's feeling right now. What would they do in response to that? It's kind of how a lot of the game works, is how your characters respond to certain things that characters say, and to certain things that characters do. Getting into kind of the backstory of Masks, this takes place in a city called Halcyon City. Think of like a metropolis. It's a sprawling expanse of a city with anything you can think of being found here. It stretches for miles and miles. But more importantly, Halcyon City is where supers first started appearing. You will be playing the 4th generation of supers in Halcyon City. Before you were 3 other generations that each had to figure out their own way of dealing with their powers and with the way that the public would view them, and dealing with different kinds of threats, even. The gold generation of heroes was born from 1920 to 1940.
Okay, so we're talking... So just speaking, not canonically, but from a general standpoint, so we're talking about, like, original Captain America, Iron Man era.
That's right. So they fought things like aliens, robots, powerful just criminals like underbosses and things like that, corporate fat cats. Basically, it was the beginning. From there came the Silver Generation, which was from the 50s to the 60s. That was a big era of change. The heroes became more powerful, and so did the threats. The Silver Generation is when teams became more important to being a superhero. Think of the first time the Avengers came together. These were bigger threats that couldn't be handled just by, hey, Copper, look, I trapped this guy that was robbing a bank.
Yeah.
These were bigger threats that they had to deal with. And with that came a lot more responsibility on these heroes. And some of them are still largely around today, but they've kind of lost they're more cynical. Think of the Watchmen.
Okay.
From there came the Bronze Generation, from the 70s to the 80s. So the Bronze Generation was the first generation that really had to deal with being a hero and also being human. they had to deal with their daily lives and protecting their loved ones a lot more than the past generations had to. The villains became more brazen. Think of Peter Parker failing to save Gwen Stacy.
Okay.
They had to deal with death a lot more. They were the first generation that doubted whether they should be superheroes or not. Most of this generation is still in pretty major positions in the city today. They're waiting basically to have to replace the silver generation. Those that are still around, that are still, fulfilling their duty to the city. And the bronze generation is just kind of waiting, and they'll have to take the mantle of, the city's icons and oldest heroes, eventually. Then there's the modern generation. And that's from the 90s to today. They don't really have a name yet. They haven't made a name for themselves yet. Some of the members of your generation have made it big. Their names are known all around the city, but most of them are still trying to figure themselves out. Trying to figure out what their duty is to the city, if they even have one, with the silver generation and the bronze generation still being prominent, and even some golden generation heroes still active. Does the new generation even have a place? And if they do, how will they fulfill those roles? Those are the things that your characters are dealing with throughout this series that we're going to be doing. So we're going to work a little bit differently than we did on Monster of the Week for sessions. Rather than having mysteries every couple episodes, or in this case, maybe like a villain every couple episodes, the way it's going to work is we're going to work with arcs. And however long it takes to fulfill that arc, that's how long it takes. So we may be on one arc for the entirety of the season, or we might get 2 or 3 in. We'll see really how it goes. Now, let me get out of my little monologue voice. We need to pick playbooks now. Then I'll go through and describe all the basic moves and how everything works, because questions will come up throughout the playbooks about the basic moves, and I'll probably just tell you, hang on, we'll get there. But this is where we'll leave the listeners off, and we will see you in just a second. Alright, we're back. So everybody's picked, I asked everybody to pick 2 playbooks. That's in case one playbook got picked as a first choice for 2 people. That way they'll have 2 that they really wanted to play rather than just 1, and then they have to settle for another. So anyway, we'll start with Harley. So Harley, what are your 2 that you kind of thought of?
The one that spoke to me the most, and it's my first choice, is the Janice. So basically your typical high school nerd that just, wakes up, eats, goes to school, goes to work, comes home and does homework, and then goes to sleep. Just doesn't have a social life at all, or minimally at most. That one just very much speaks to me. The other one that I chose as my backup is The Outsider.
Oh, interesting.
Which honestly, because I had to move around a lot as a kid, this one really speaks to me. Just, having to get adjusted to something new that, a new situation that you're not necessarily comfortable with or familiar with, until you find that something that you kind of latch onto and helps you fit in better.
Cool. Alright. So let's go to Farhan. Which 2 did you kind of like?
The first one would be the Nova. And that's specifically because of the whole team around losing control. And I just have some mental health issues. And the second one was also related to that, which would be the Doomed.
Okay.
And that was
so the
soft.
Nova, I thought, I actually expected you to probably pick the Nova. but that was because of it's basically a spellcaster that has infinite abilities.
That might have played a little bit of role into my selection process.
So the Doomed, what specifically about the Doomed appeals to you?
It's black.
What?
It is a backup. It's not as important to me as the Nova, obviously, but I have this feeling of like that my future is just like sort of gone. It's like dark. Like there's nothing to it. Like I'm just gonna fade away kind of thing. So that's the type of feeling I got from the Doomed, and that's my backup. That's why.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, there's hotlines for that.
Yeah.
So I'm sorry. No, I'm being flippant, but really, not you specifically, Farhan, but
if anyone out there, if you feel like you can't go on living, please reach out for help. You'll feel a million times better after you do so.
I know that you're not alone, too. I mean, I feel like especially in our generation, there's a lot of people who deal with, not only depression or, suicide, suicidal thought. Yeah, they think they have anxiety. There's so much anxiety, there's just so much stress on our generation.
And I think that'll play into our campaign of this even.
Which is
because
what I
we
love.
are playing this generation and we're, we have all of those issues and we're familiar with those issues. We grew up in these times and we'll be able to kind of touch on that as we play through the game.
And with the intro that Julio gave, I think that really does actually tie in with our generation. Like those other generations are still around and still very much, involved, and they're kind of like still in charge. And it's
the parallels are pretty obvious, to be honest. Like the gold
it's really
generation
great.
being like, say, the baby boomers and stuff like that, and the modern generation being us, the millennials, if you want to call it that.
Yeah, it's exciting.
Yeah, so buy masks because it's a really well written game. So Neal, which two did you decide on?
The delinquent bull.
It was not Neal, but okay.
Okay.
You guys didn't want me to be the Doomed or the fucking
I wanted you to be Legacy. Neal, honestly, I feel like you would do Legacy Beacon. Are you playing Beacon?
No, he's playing the
No,
bull.
he said the bull and which one? I'm sorry? The delinquent.
I wanted Neal to play Beacon.
Well, you mentioned that you wanted to play some of the other ones, though. Like,
yeah, play them. We're just joking.
Were there other ones that spoke to you more than those?
Oh, the Doomed and the Transformed.
That's the one I thought you were going to do.
So, we'll tell us about those, because then those are your two, not the other ones.
Yeah, I don't know. Everyone knew which one I'm going to do. Everyone knows.
Yeah,
but
same here.
That's
but
everyone knew
like all my other characters, man.
But you have the option to play
it a bit differently. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, you would play this as a different character. Besides that, like specifically Olaf. Olaf wasn't really dealing with the issues of having to decide what this new identity was. The Transformed has this different issue of, am I still the person I was before?
Not only that,
people look at me differently. I'm a freak. There's all kinds of different issues that you haven't touched on as a character before.
And Olaf was an adult. Like, you're playing a teenager this way.
Yeah.
And a teenager this way feels differently, and you know that. I mean, we've all been...
Yeah. And the same with the Doomed. I mean, the Doomed isn't really... I don't think you've ever really played a character specifically like the Doomed.
What the
Okay, so I will say one thing. I will say one thing. There will not be a character in this campaign that hears voices.
God damn it.
Okay, good.
but yeah, so then between those two, which one would be your first choice then?
I think that Doomed is more interesting.
Okay. What about it appeals to you?
I don't know. I've always had a fascination with insanities and like the insane characters and stuff.
He's not actually
like
insane.
you said, it's not insane, but like they've got like this sort of like
a ticking time bomb feeling.
Yeah, like it's sort of similar to like some. I don't know how to explain it.
Okay,
but that's like the closest I feel to that sort of thing.
Susie.
Oh, so my first one, no surprise, is gonna be the Outsider.
Of course.
Yeah. I think the character art really drew me to the outsider because she's really cute. But also, I like that she's not from here, you know, she's different. And like, she chose to be here, you know, she's fascinated by humans. And I like that. I mean, I think people are fascinating the way that we feel and just the way that we all are. And we're all so different. And I like that she's choosing to be here, you know. Or that's what I got from it, at least. Yeah, because there's something about this place, something special. And I like that she's like looking at the good things about this place, even though she's so different. My second choice is the bull.
Yeah, nice.
I think it would be really fun to play a character who's kind of just like, she doesn't think, which is kind of like me too. I feel like that's how she was. Yeah, she's just like going for it, you know. She's big, she's strong, she's tough. Well, I would play a she, but you know, he too. But but then she has a soft side sometimes, you know, and she wants to. It's kind of like the tough, you know, that tough kid.
Yeah, so the bull has this mechanic of the bull's heart, and you choose a rival and a love, and you have specific interactions with those characters as the bull. So the bull is big and strong, but so is the bull's heart.
Yeah, which I can reside with, because sometimes I can be a bitch, but you know, I have a really good heart. Oh, okay.
Okay, cool.
If you say so.
Yeah. I do both. I'm bitchy and I have.
Oh, I'm sorry. I went out of order. Neal was supposed to go last.
You read not Neal.
But I read not Neal. Yeah. All right. So, Ariz, what were the ones that you looked at?
One of the things I really liked was the beacon. Because...
Oh, I like that.
I like the
Interesting.
beacon because as a kid, I got into comic books because my life was shit. And reading about all these aliens, humans, like meta-humans, I'm like, this is cool. Why can't I have this? And like, from what the beacon is, pretty much that, like, yes, if we had a chance to change our life into something from boring as hell to being, let's say, a member of the Teen Titans, I would do it.
Right.
I don't know about Teen Titans, man.
But you know, it's pretty
cool.
much that.
Okay.
I really like that.
Yeah.
And what was your second choice?
Second choice was Protege. Because...
Really?
I expected that one.
Yeah, the
I
Protege,
guess I could see it now.
I can see it,
been,
yeah.
like, my family in general has been the kind of thing like, oh, okay, you should follow this route, that route. So I've kind of used to being like, somewhat groomed, but not really. So I know the feeling of, or the pressure of like living up to certain type of standards. So
Right.
yeah, I feel, and also I like the pretty much idea of the protege. It's like you're under pressure of living up to a certain expectation that not everyone sets for you, but you kind of set for yourself, and I like.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's either way, it's something new for you, which is awesome.
Yeah.
So surprisingly, we didn't double up much. The only ones that we doubled up on was the Doomed was on Farhan and Neal's lists.
But Nova is my top anyways.
But Nova was your first, so... okay, well, I'm gonna go back through in the same order and just tell me which one you're going with out of the two that you chose, that you picked. So Harley, which one are you going with?
I'm going Janice, man.
All right, Farhan.
Nova.
All right. So correct order this time. Ariz.
Beacon.
Beacon. All right. Susi.
The Outsider.
All right, and Neal.
Dude.
Interesting.
I almost wanted to go with
I know.
the Delinquent still. But
I almost wanted to do the Bull too, but I'm just like, I don't know. What do you guys? No, I'm gonna do Outsider. I can make this.
I think you should go with your first instinct.
Yeah.
So one thing that I didn't mention when I was talking about, you know, the whole background of the game and everything. This game generally stays away from the topic of death. Death is a big deal in this game.
Death is a construct.
Even an NPC's death is, you know, something major in the PC's lives. So having a Doomed on the team really changes the tone. where before, death is just kind of maybe at the back of your mind, but you're not really thinking about it. The Doom brings it to the forefront. You know that one of your teammates is doomed, and there's no way out of it. They're going to die. And that's something that your team has to deal with. Which brings an interesting dynamic. And I think having that theme of just anxiety towards, society and the world in general, I think that it's really interesting to have that character in our team for this campaign. So that being said, have you guys had a chance to really look at the playbooks yet?
No.
No.
Okay, I thought not. So let's go ahead, just go through, look at your playbooks, make sure that this is the one that you want to go with. You can still change your mind. We have everybody's first choices locked in now. So everything else is just kind of up for grabs in case you decide that you do want to change what you're doing. But go ahead and read the playbooks, and we will be right back. Okay, so everybody's ready with their backstory then?
Yeah.
All right, let's start with the Janus.
Okay, so my character's name is Daniel Moore, but he's otherwise known as Rapidus. So he keeps his powers a secret because his parents are very much against superheroes in general, because they feel that they are vigilantes that are working against the law, and but Daniel has these powers that they don't know about, but because Daniel is always seeking their approval, he actively hides his powers from them. But one day, they were at a convenience store, his entire family, and they were held at gunpoint while the convenience store was robbed, but no heroes came to save them. And that was the day that Daniel decided that he couldn't sit by with his powers and just watch from the sidelines anymore. And that was when he came up with the idea to start wearing a mask and calling himself Rapidus. So outside of the team, of course, his parents completely disapprove of him being a superhero.
So how did you get your powers? How did you find out that you had powers?
I hadn't thought of that. So I would think that Daniel probably found out, whenever he was playing tag with some friends, and he found that one day he was suddenly able to tell whenever someone was right behind him and about to tag him, but because of his supernatural senses kicking in, he would be able to feel it coming even from behind, and then he would use he could suddenly start to move in ways that would completely elude other normal human beings, including not only being able to just completely outrun them, but also, practically running up the side of a tree or something like that and hanging off of a branch.
How old were you?
I would say Daniel was probably about 7 or 8.
Why did he keep it from his parents?
Because his parents completely disapprove of superheroes. Like, they cannot stand the idea of superheroes being an accepted part of society.
How did he hide it?
He just basically anytime he was home, he just didn't participate in sports at all. He just basically went to school and came home, did homework, and just stayed in his room. And just avoided any situation where he might exert himself physically.
Okay. And who outside of the team thinks that they shouldn't be a hero?
So of course his parents. Enough said.
But so they already know that he's trying to be them.
Well, I would say that his parents are aware of his are aware of his superhero identity, but they don't know that's Daniel. But there's only one person outside of the team that knows that he's a superhero, and that would be his closest friend, Matt. Who Matt was in the game of tag and was actually the one who was about to attack Daniel whenever Daniel discovered his powers. So Matt is one of the only people who knows about these powers. But Matt is scared about what will happen to Daniel if he's found out to be a superhero.
Okay. And who thinks the worst of your masked identity?
So his crush at school, Suzanne, she cannot stand, there's small word about what Rapidus has been doing, around town, and, Suzanne absolutely cannot stand Rapidus because he is viewed as such a goody-goody two-shoes. And she cannot stand him for that reason. She thinks he's too good.
Okay. And why do you care about the team?
So Daniel cares about the team because they are the only people that he feels he can truly be comfortable talking about anything with. Because he can't talk to his parents about what's going on in his superhero life, and Matt doesn't have powers, so he won't understand a lot of stuff that's going on in that aspect of Daniel's life. So to Daniel, the team is like almost like his support group, for emotionally speaking, trying to deal with not only having a secret identity, but also being able to just vent about problems.
Okay. Let's move on to the Nova.
Alright. Are you going to ask the questions and I answer, or what?
Well, give us your name and what your character looks like first.
Alright. My real name is Quintin Juarez. And he is half Hispanic. Well, I think he's like quarter Hispanic. His grandfather is Hispanic. And he is a pretty average-looking guy, a stocky build, somewhat tall. Well, he's actually pretty tall, around 6'4"-ish. Mostly quiet, keeps to himself, but he's very protective of really anything people.
Okay. And I'm sorry, I never asked Daniel's hero. Oh no, hero name was Rapidus, right? What is Nova's hero name?
Sanctum.
Where did that come from?
He wanted to be the place where people could feel safe, pretty much, if that makes sense. The place of hope. So, he named himself Sanctum.
So when did you first use your powers?
It was when I was 7 years old, the day after my little sister's birthday party.
And what happened?
For a little while, my parents had to go out to take care of some errands. It was just me and my 4-year-old little sister, Lily. And she was playing with her, and she was 4, and she was playing with her helium balloon, and she let go of it, and we had this, the den of the house. It was very open and has a tall ceiling. And she was trying to get the balloon, and I wanted to get it for her, and my abilities are of gravity manipulation, so that's when it triggered. The problem is, not only did the balloon come down, but part of the roof came down with it.
What were the consequences of that?
It didn't. I got through with just a few bruises, but it shattered Lily's right leg, so now she has to always wear braces, leg braces.
How much younger is she than you?
3 years. I was 7, she was 4. I'm right now I'm 15, so she's about 12.
Oh. Daniel, what was your age?
Daniel is 15.
Okay. Who was the first person you accidentally hurt with your powers? Yeah.
I just told you, Lily, his little sister. I shattered her right leg by pulling down the roof.
Okay. And who outside the team helps you control your powers?
My grandfather and the only other person in the family who has any superpowers. His name being Sebastian Juarez.
And are his powers similar to yours?
His powers aren't like as exaggerated. It is similar. Like he has low power telekinesis. He can lift some smaller objects. He was never a mainstream hero, but he did some work in that area.
What generation is he from?
He is from the Silver generation.
Okay. Why do you continue to use your powers?
After the incident, I was consumed with guilt. I started thinking that I was a freak and powers are evil, which makes me in turn evil. But my grandfather convinced me that the powers are neither good nor evil, but they are what we make of them. So I decided to use my powers to protect people rather than hurt them.
Okay. And why do you care about the team?
They are the people who really helped me learn what my powers are, how to control them. I practiced with them. I grew up together with them. I'm thinking that I met a few members of the group pretty early on, and we got pretty close over the years. So they're just a really close group of friends, like a second family almost.
Okay, we'll get to when the team first came together here in a little bit. All right. Is there anything else you want to say about your character?
He doesn't like to hurt anything unless he has to, so he's pretty passive in combat. That's about it.
Okay. The Beacon. Tell us your name and describe what your character looks like.
Real name, Mark Graham. He's just your average nerd, like he's into comic books and whatnot. He's not really special. His dad, however, was part of the military and like covert. He was a sniper, so he was killed in action when Mark was around 11 years old. And one of the reasons Mark is skills in the bow and arrow is because his dad taught him how to like pretty much aim and breathe, like in terms of the battlefield anyway.
Okay, we'll get to the questions here in a second. What's your superhero name?
Quiver.
All right. Well, where did you? Okay, I guess that one's kind of obvious, isn't it?
Well, there's a bit of a backstory to it, but not much.
All right. So how did you gain your skills?
As I said, he was born with pretty much like a keen sight. He had like better sight in like he can see better distances. But the most important, his dad taught him like the breathing and pretty much aim and whatnot as a sniper. So he got that, but transited from a sniper to an archer because he doesn't really use guns as much.
Okay. And when did you first put on your costume?
He first put on his costume when he was 12 years old at school. He saw a bully picking on one of his friends, so he used a slingshot, and from a pretty good distance, he hit the bully straight in the eye and gave the bully the black name Black Eye Berry.
The black name?
No. He hit the bully in the eye and gave him a black eye, hence he was then called Black Eye Berry because he forever has a black eye now.
Okay. And his name is Barry.
I feel like that would shoot out his eye, but alright.
Just like it hurt him a lot. How old is he right now?
Mark, yeah.
15.
15. It seems like. Alright, who outside the team thinks you shouldn't be a superhero?
The mother, because they already lost a member of their family because his dad died when he was 11 years old. He died in action. So she doesn't want, like, to lose another loved one in, like, so she is always wary of him whenever he does any of his activities or whenever he just puts
So she knows that he's trying to be a superhero.
He's trying, yeah.
Okay. What's her name?
Legma.
Anastasia.
Alicia Graham.
Oh.
Okay.
I'm not gonna go with fucking Ligma.
And
Ligma balls.
Why do you try to be a hero?
He was always the awkward, unsocial type, but his dad was a military man, so he kind of got that sense of justice, and after he passed away, he wants to pretty much change the world for the better so that other people don't go through the suffering and loss that he did.
And why do you care about the team?
he from childhood he was very unsocial, but after he learned the skills and he's trying to be a hero, he sees all the public heroes, how social and active they are, and he wants like to be a part of the team of people doing something good.
Okay. Cool. The Outsider.
Hello. So, my name is Slatiova Rufuma.
What?
Bless you. Just kidding. You can call her Ova. She, as of right now, does not have a hero name. She's hoping that this new team that she joined will kind of like help her figure one out.
Does she understand the whole dynamic of superheroes and common people here on Earth?
No.
How about
No. Just straight up no.
So you just told us her name, but why is she an outsider?
So she's an outsider because she comes from a different planet. That's the first question. Where do you come from? I don't know if you want me to answer that already.
Did she come here legally?
Yeah, let's well, tell us what you look like.
So, she originally has, like neon skin. She, has glowing eyes. She has a somewhat normal human body, but it's a bit deformed. Like her hair isn't normal. Her bones, like, what is that? Like when
Protrude?
they protrude a little bit more. Yeah, so that's how she looks, and she tries to wear like human clothes, and she has like radical shape shifting. So if she does go out, she's not like fighting, or if it's an area where she knows people don't accept her, they don't know about her, then she will shape shift into a human. Or like she doesn't really have to shape shift so much. She just has to kind of mask, either cover up her body and like change the color of her body because she has neon skin, and she tends to glow a bit, and then she has to like wear shades like sunglasses or shape shift completely, like even her eye color.
Okay. Why did you come to Earth?
So I came to Earth.
Actually, no. We skipped. Where do you come from?
So I come from the planet Dimidian. It's in the constellation Pegasus.
What's special about this planet?
So this planet has instead of like people having kids and raising them themselves within their own family, it's almost like the entire planet raises the next generation together. So you don't have like a structured family in the sense. The closest thing a child will have to a parent is like a mentor or someone, like just an adult who guides them along the way. But there's not really like a family structure there. And it's not really about the individual, it's about the community a lot.
What kind of environment is it?
So the people on Dimidian, they take a lot of their energy from the sun. So it's very like hot, like it's I don't know. It's like kind of like it's from the sun that they rotate, which is I can't remember the name of the sun. She didn't do good in school anyways. But anyways, they take like a lot of their energy from the sun basically. So it's kind of like a hot environment. So a lot of them are like very radiant and glowing. It's a very like social environment. There's crime and there's some like fighting, but it's not like huge. There's not like a lot of crime. There's not a lot of wars. There's not a lot of disagreements. It's very like bland, I guess you could say in some ways. They interact a lot with like intergalactic government. This planet
Space
tends
police.
to.
Okay. Why did you come to Earth?
Well, first off, I thought it was pretty interesting because my mentor would talk about it a lot. My specific mentor.
What's their name?
Sir Yorick.
Stalv Alupka is their name.
Alupka.
Did you like that? So he would talk a lot about his time, and he came here when he was younger too. He's actually half human and half Dimidian. And yeah, he actually is like half human, and he talks a lot about his time on Earth and just the way that people were here and how it was very much of the individual and the community. You weren't just another face in the community. Like, in Dominion, it's like, you're not really an individual. People aren't different. You're not unique. You don't stand out. Everyone just blends into each other. And he would talk about how, like, there's, like, famous people on Earth, and there's, like, people who really, like, who stand out and just things like that. And he stood out, and how, and it just fascinated her, just the way that people felt so much.
And what was his name again?
His name is, Stalv, Melipta. I think I changed it a little bit, but it's okay. Melipta. Alupka, thank you. Alupka.
Okay. How long have your people been coming to Earth?
They've been coming for about 300 years.
So are there a lot of them here on Earth?
Yes, but they're disguised. Most of them. Some of them, I think there's like a hero from like the Silver generation. Did I say a lot? I meant to say like some, like a few, like not a lot.
Okay. And do you know, so if they've been coming here for about 300 years, what do they think of humanity?
They find it interesting. Like, they think that it's interesting the way that our world works and how there are separate governments within just this one planet. They think that we're, like that we don't have a sense of community very much. Like, we don't, and that, we're not evolved very, like, they kind of like have, like, they kind of stick their nose up at Earth. Like, they think,
they look
like,
down at Earth.
Yeah, they look down. Like, they're not very involved. Like, and then obviously, like, they just started, like, interacting with aliens in, like, the 20s or 30s, which it isn't a long time, It's, like, what, like 80 years right now at this point? It's not that long in, like, the grand scheme of things.
So does your people have people on other planets too?
Yes.
Okay. So why do you want to stay here?
For now, at least, I find Earth fascinating, and the humans too. And I'm like, I want to understand why, if my mentor was half human, why he left. Also that I like to stand out and that I'm actually different here. I don't have to be just another face in the crowd.
Oh, that's cool. What's something that you find interesting about Earth? You personally?
How, like, everyone is able to do kind of what they want. They're encouraged to find their dream and follow their dreams. And, it's not just do things for, like, the grand picture or for, like, whatever, like, what's best for everyone, or, you're an individual here.
Okay. Why do your people want you to come home?
Because they feel like I'm not, I don't have like the community's best interest, I guess, or like I'm not really thinking of our planet, or even like our, like, I'm not thinking of like everyone else. I'm just doing this for myself. They think I'm being very selfish by going to Earth and like trying to find myself in things like that. They don't think that they think that I would serve best by staying on the planet and, with the community.
Okay. I think I skipped it. Why did you come to Earth?
No, I think I answered that.
Yeah, cause you said, like, because it was, like, boring or something, right?
My mentor, like, inspired me to come.
So your people, like, you can come and go from your planet. Like, they don't care?
Well, they're not going to really stop you from coming.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, they don't care.
Why do you care about the team?
Because they're really, like, the only people that I know here.
So all the other ones of your people that are here, you don't, like, talk to them or anything, right?
There's not a lot of them here. Like, we're in the specific city that we're there's, like, none of them. On this continent, maybe there's one other person or two. When I said a lot earlier, I meant to say a few. Okay. All right. Cool. And Doomed. Give us your name and description of your character.
And your phone number.
What?
And your social security number.
Your phone number. Social security.
Okay, my character's real name is Sengoku. Almost like Son Goku, except not even close.
No.
And His hero name is Tengu. And description.
What does that mean?
Tengu? That's like those heavenly spirits from Japanese folklore.
Crows. They look like crows.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Well,
Pretty
they're
much.
either crows or they got those long noses.
Right.
Either or. But yeah, I was going crow.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was going more crow-like.
And what do they look like?
He looks like a male. He is approximately... Well, I'm looking
like a
at the
male.
look list, okay?
He looks like a male, okay.
He's Asian. He's sort of like a mix of Asian. I don't want to go like particularly
Spoil it for us.
specific there, you know, like, but he's like Chinese, Japanese, everything.
Everything.
He's got a bit of African in there.
What?
Well, I know it's not Asia, but you know, he's got a bit of Russia. He's I'll be.
The best of all
I'll
worlds.
censor my words. But yeah, so he's Asian. Determined though. He's got a determined look. Because that he's determined to prove himself to his nemesis and father, Aku.
Oh my god.
Oh, here we go.
His uncle's
Yes.
name is Jack.
wow.
He normally he's just wearing like regular clothes, I guess. Like he's like just regular teenager. He's around like I'm gonna say 16. How old's everyone else? Like 15?
Mostly 15.
Yeah, 50.
Yeah.
I'll go
How old
15.
is
then.
Susie?
I'll be 15.
Yeah.
Yeah, how old
old is
Oh,
she?
wait, I forgot to ask.
100, 200. She's alien, so I don't know how that works.
That's
Okay,
15.
so... Okay. When did you first learn of your doom?
Oh no way! I didn't say my costume.
Oh,
My
okay.
costume,
Say your costume
I've
then.
got kind of like Raven. He's got like a cloak, but he's a bit of a physical character, so he kind of got like leather sort of padded gear, like light armor, I guess, and like he sort of has resources, sort of. That's why I say he's got like light armor looking
Does he
stuff.
go to school?
Yeah.
Does he wear that to school?
No, that's his costume.
Oh, right. Okay.
Like his normal clothes are just normal clothes, uniform or whatever he wears to school.
Right, you mentioned that. Okay.
Right, yeah. So, and he's got like a half mask, like that just covers the eyes, and it's got like that beak sort of thing for a raven.
Okay.
That's the suit.
All right. So when did you first learn of your doom?
When did I first learn my doom? Well, when I was 12, I got an emo. So the situation with the family is my it was a
I
good
love
suggestion, okay? I think it was
The
Susi,
doom
right?
came from an
It was
email.
me.
It was you?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. You got an email.
Okay. Well, anyways, it was a good
The
suggestion.
timing.
Anyways, the situation with the family is like when I was 10-ish, my mother died in a sort of like a quote unquote accident or something. Like she got into like some drunk hero guy, some drunk superhero killed her or something. There's like some kind of confrontation, you know, and there's no justice for it. So I'm getting a little bit ahead and off topic at this one, but so Aku was my father, but he was also a good superhero. And then he turned evil after the mother died. Because
What- the
there's
mother-
no
what was her
justice. Alice. I don't fucking know, dude.
I'm Asian.
So just
My hero name is
how
Tengu.
just how Beacon's
His
name
mom's name
was
is Alice.
Alicia, your mom's name is Alice.
Wait, who's Alicia?
The
Like
Beacon's
Beacon's
mom's
mom's name, yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
I actually thought about that for a bit.
Yeah. Let's say they're like distantly related or something.
That
Oh,
doesn't.
God.
That sounds closer.
Why
than
would they have
distant.
similar first names?
Why though?
Don't worry about it.
Oh my fucking god.
Who? Why would a woman named Alicia name their child Sengoka?
Don't worry about it, dude.
And Mark Graham sounds like that average white kid, and you're like, this Asian dude. I don't see the resemblance.
Don't worry about it. I said it was a distant relation, okay?
Okay. Well, so what happened with this email?
Anyways,
when did you first learn of Doom? How about you answer that question?
Okay, fine. I'll stay on topic. I got an email when I was about 12 telling me that I'm doomed from my father, Aku. He's like, I'm very disappointed in you for being born so weak that I'm doomed because of my powers. So the whole thing is like, I'm quote unquote frail. Too frail for my powers. So because when I overexert myself, it advances my doom, you know?
His power is constipation. What?
And I say quote unquote frail because one of my abilities is super strength and speed.
Alright.
So, it takes too heavy of a toll on my body, you know? That's why I'm doomed.
Right, okay.
Anyways. Next.
Alright, so when did you get your sanctuary?
I don't know. When?
It's a treehouse.
When? I
where?
guess.
Sorry, where?
Oh, okay. So basically, when my father was, I kind of live on my own now. I've only got my assistant, Uncle Watson, with me. He's not my butler. He's literally my uncle. He's
Alfred.
He's my mother's brother. Yeah. Anyways, so he's like my caretaker or whatever. And when my father became evil and stuff, he left his old base and he went off to live on his own in the dregs of society, you know. And so I basically took over his superhero base.
Alright, so why do you oppose your nemesis?
Because I will show him that I am not weak and I can do good and that there is justice, because he turned against the light side because there's no justice for his wife, Alice, who died at the hands of a drunk superhero.
So your doom is inevitable, right? Is Seng aware that his doom is inevitable?
Yes.
Okay.
But he's always thinking positive, you know?
Okay, cool. And who outside the team is crucial to defeating your nemesis?
Uncle Watts, because without him, I would have nothing.
Okay.
He helps with the resources and stuff and aids me when I need it.
So if he were gone, what would stop you then from defeating your nemesis?
Lack of resources. And
so basically, it's not really him, it's more the resources.
That he provides, yes.
Oh my
He's your
god.
bank, pretty much.
But if you could find somebody else that provide,
like he's also got his skill set, you know.
He's a physician, keeping him alive.
Yeah, he's my physician.
He's fucking Alfred. Jesus.
What?
Your uncle sounds like Alfred.
No, he's Watson, like Dr. Watson.
Like from Sherlock Holmes.
Like from Sherlock Holmes, yeah.
Okay. Why do you care about the team?
Why do I care? Because they help me stay positive and help me do good.
Okay.
I write that. I didn't write that.
Okay, so that's everybody's backstory. Let's go ahead and answer everybody's when our team first came together. So we'll go in the same order that we've been going. So we'll start with the Janus. So Janus, what's your question and what's the answer?
So my question is, we saved the life of someone important together, either to the city or to us. Who was it, and why were they important?
So these questions are asked to the group, to the team, and you all answer these questions together.
Oh, should we answer it now, or do we go to the review?
Yeah, everybody answer it together.
Oh, okay. We saved Watson. Because he makes us food all the time.
Uncle Watson's... Yeah, I see it.
Okay. So why are they important?
Because they are...
I would say Watson is a kind of a father figure to the team as a whole.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
And he kind of serves
Everyone
as that
seems like they have
for the team.
Family issue.
Yeah. Plus we use Tengu's base as our secret base pretty much.
Yeah.
And Watson is like the butler there, so we like him.
My base is actually not a cave, it's like a treehouse.
It's a crow's nest, I love it.
It's codename Kids Next Door.
Yeah.
Okay, so we have one little piece of when the team first came together. So now the Nova's question. When the team first came together...
we destroyed our surroundings in the fight. Where was it and what did we destroy? So where is the city exactly? Is it in the US?
Yeah, but it's not well defined where exactly it is.
Okay.
Yeah. But it's
How about
massive
we
city.
do like
Just
a school trip to
Why
somewhere?
don't you pick a city then, like for where it's at? Because don't we have to have like a city where we're gonna be?
It's Halcyon City.
Yeah.
That's only a city.
But like, what is it like?
It's like more urban or
It's
like
a sprawling
suburban type?
metropolis. I mean, it's got...
It's
So
like Metropolis.
it's got an urban area kind of closer to the center of the city. As it spreads out, it becomes a little bit more flat and less like skyscrapers and stuff.
It's more Metropolis.
How about we were on a school trip to the freaking aquarium and he was there as a chaperone and there we got in a fight with something.
Yeah.
Okay, so it was at the aquarium. What did you destroy?
We destroyed one of, like, the dolphin exhibit.
The big
The
tank.
dolphins died.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Let's keep building on this then. The beacon. When our team first came together.
We found signs that this incident was just the start of something bigger. What were the signs?
The dolphins were robotic. They were imposters.
Hey, that could be something.
Yeah. How about they were robotic? We didn't realize it until Janus, with his extremely good senses.
Excuse me,
noticed
Rapidus.
that, Rapidus, with his senses, we didn't know you were a superhero back then, just so you know. So
That's true.
So Janus,
That's true.
yeah.
Well, if we're
What's
all
his
on a
name?
field trip,
Do
then-
they even know?
Daniel Moore, with his senses, heard some wearing. Or
So
like,
does the entire team know of your secret identity?
Not yet. We'll probably learn during the fight, correct?
Well, no,
No, I'm
because
talking
what
about
could have
now.
happened? What could have
Now?
happened is that
Oh.
Daniel like sensed it, went, changed into his costume, came back out, and then he revealed that there's something going on. So we don't have to know about his secret identity.
I feel like we could kind of like say like, yeah, someone just goes like him or like all of us. We all go off and we find something suspicious, so we change into our outfits and come back.
Well, so
find a
like
phone
the secret
booth.
identity isn't really important to any of the playbooks, but the Janus. The Janus it's built into their playbook. So that's why it's important whether you guys know his secret identity or not.
Well, I'll let the Janus answer that.
I would say you
Yeah.
guys.
Or do all of us know it at first, or some of us do?
Yeah, maybe some of us do and some of us
Is
don't.
there not a relation where you've only told one person or something?
There
I mean,
is. It says
they
new
can
from
decide,
civilian
yeah.
life. And that makes sense, right? Isn't that his thing?
Well, so we'll fill those in a bit. Those are for the teammates specifically.
So
But
I would say in general, Daniel would not. Well, actually, no, because I already said that Daniel feels like he can talk about. Well, I guess I need to amend that a little bit. So Daniel is able to talk to the team about his superhero life, but not his home life.
Okay.
So we know him as a superhero,
Yeah.
but not as a shut-in.
Right.
So do we know him without his like as a
You know him. You know him as a person, and you know him as a hero. You don't know that it's the same person.
Oh, okay. So that how
like,
do we explain
Spider-Man
the-
versus Peter Parker
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah, so
Right. Yeah,
you guys
pretty
will
much.
only know me as Spider-Man. Or in this case, Rapidus.
Okay.
So we don't actually hang out when we're
they
not
would know.
superhero.
They would know both people. They,
They
would
would-
know
yeah.
the mask
Yeah,
and the
separately.
person.
But there would be
they
no
just don't know it's
connection.
the same one.
So how do you explain like when you turn into a superhero?
You could have just gone to the bathroom, changed, and was like, "Hey guys,
Right.
I'm Rapidus.
Yeah.
So
So,
like
like,
with the
what-
dolphin."
So what
he
Superman
puts on
does,
some
he
kind
just
of
puts on his
glasses.
glasses. Yeah.
yeah,
Maybe Rap is a tech type hero. He has some kind of disguise that,
Is he a
something
tech
like
type?
that.
Not really.
I don't know.
Well, I mean, he can just go to the bathroom. I don't see
You
what
could
the
just
issue
you
is.
put a mask on, like a.
But
ski
like
mask.
when we
Yeah.
make that connection,
We also didn't touch on that, Janus.
Well-
What does your mask look like, and what tags does your mask have? What labels?
So I would say that the mask looks almost like a the masquerade masks.
Oh, okay.
So it'd be like a plain white masquerade mask, nothing super fancy. And whenever designing the mask, Daniel tried to design it so that it would give off the impression of him being a savior, more than anything else. So he tried to keep it as plain as possible while painting it white so that it would exude light instead of darkness.
Okay, so back to this whole situation. So
it's
they don't know who you are. So
Neal, sorry, so that's to answer your question.
So you would have probably gone and put on the mask before you came back and dealt with the situation?
Yeah,
then?
definitely.
Okay. And so you found signs that it was the start of something bigger with the robot dolphins. And the robot dolphins were the signs, right? Okay. Somebody keeps fucking moving these things. Alright, and then Ova.
Oh.
When our team first came together.
No, we already did know.
We didn't know.
Ova.
This is the outsider. Her name's, you can call her Ova. That's her nickname.
Wait, did she go to our school or she didn't go to our school?
We didn't address that in my thing, so.
Ova, I thought you said.
Can you speak up a little bit?
Yeah, so she probably, I would say, she has to go to school. I mean, it's like a whole teenager thing. So, yeah, she goes to the school and she just like kind of disguised herself as a human for the time that she's there.
Is she also a teenager like us? Like,
yeah, she's 14 years old.
oh, okay.
Youngest one.
That's actually good that you've set up the whole thing that you can disguise yourself as a human, because later on you can take the mask yourself and you get a whole secret identity and everything.
So when our team first came together, we didn't trust each other at first, but that changed how and why.
I think for Daniel, it would be a sense of longing for people to fit in with as a superhero and to be able to talk to, instead of because his whole life has basically revolved into a routine and that he is getting tired of, and he's tired of being repressed by his parents and by the girl he likes, and he needed that sort of outlet of other superheroes to be able to talk to.
Yeah, so we pretty much started trusting each other when we found out about our mutual super abilities, I would say. Before that, we were just random strangers at school to each other.
Yeah.
Right.
So, but the thing is, you guys at first didn't trust each other. Why did that change?
Oh, okay.
I think it changed in combat when we were all there fighting together against this one.
Evil dolphins.
Like, this one, yeah, threat, I guess. I think it probably during that, I don't know if we have to be, like, super descriptive and say, like, who did what and what happened. Like, do we have to say specifically, like, I mean, I think it's obviously just that we had each other's backs, like, and we were the first one.
Mutual trust.
Yeah, and it was the first time, like, maybe, I'm pretty sure all of us came together with a group of people. Like, we never had that sense of, like, we're not alone anymore.
Yeah, my reason for distrust is simply, like, I didn't really know the motives, really, I guess, of the group. But, I mean, it becomes obvious that we've got a similar, like, sense of justice or whatnot.
Yeah, same. Mm-hmm.
So what were you guys fighting then? So what happened after the dolphins? After you saw the dolphins, what was actually the threat, and how did it put Watson in danger?
Ooh, we can say that the dolphins were mind controlling people with their ultrasound waves. Isn't that what they are? What are the waves called? I don't
Sonic
know.
waves.
Sonic ultrasound.
Yeah, but so what is controlling the dolphins? I thought they were mechanical.
That's
dolphins.
why. So that's what we're going after. No.
You may not know that right now. I mean, we can tie that into the first arc even.
All
right. So I guess, the dolphins were trying to mind control people, Watson being the first victim.
Yeah.
What were they causing him to do?
To physically hit assault the students that he was supposed to be taking care
I think we can even say it was multiple people, not just Watson, though.
Yeah, he was
just
Watson
the
was the person that we know,
Yeah, and then
so people maybe started
henchmen.
getting in fights. Like they started becoming let's say that they started becoming maybe aggressive or violent.
Yeah, rather than Mind
chaos.
Control, it just introduces aggression into their personality and make them overly violent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Like that
makes
one
sense.
thing from Kingsman?
Yeah.
Right,
Oh
yes,
shit!
yes.
Yeah.
Yes, like that.
But with dolphins
With less,
this time.
with,
Okay,
with
cool.
less death than
Dolphins,
dolphins.
But
Yeah.
that scene is so good in the church.
That was beautiful.
It's like we're so good.
Alright, so
That fits. Mm-hmm.
The Doomed. When our team first came together.
We paid a high cost for victory. What was it? I would have just said I lost a hand, but
The real dolphins
No.
we
died.
didn't pay that price.
What'd you say?
The
The
real
real dolphins died? Jeez.
Let's say I guess the cost could be that like our fellow like classmates who we fight crime or we have fought crime before joining the team, so we're kind of used to this. But our fellow classmates and stuff were all exposed to it, and they all became really ugly. And so we could even say like it started to affect us a little bit.
Oh, maybe
Like,
the
we became
classmates
aggressive.
thought that they didn't like that up close exposure made the disruption of the trip maybe turned our classmates against the heroes.
Us. Yeah.
So,
Oh.
we're ostracized by our classmates. For
Yeah, that's a good idea. Like, they don't know who we are, but they hate our. Either way, they hate our superhero. Yeah.
That's cool. I like that. Alright, so now we're into
Interesting.
relationships. So starting again with the Janus. Now, these apply to your teammates. So you're going to choose a teammate for each of these questions.
Okay, so I'm gonna say probably Mark Graham knew me from my civilian life first. So I think Mark Graham is the only one on the team who Daniel has revealed that he and Rapidus are the same person.
Was that intentional, or did it happen by accident?
I would think it was accidental. Because whenever the team first came together, I would think Mark would probably know or think it was a major coincidence and maybe question Daniel about it afterwards. And Daniel basically had to swear him to secrecy from the others. What do you think of that, Ariz?
Yeah, I see it. And I added a part of Daniel to the relationship as well, so I think it'll fit.
Okay. And I'm gonna say, for my other one, I'm gonna say I'm gonna say he refused to tell, Quentin.
¿Por qué?
Yeah, I think that's a good one. That's what I was thinking.
It really was a process of elimination, because he wouldn't be scared of telling Ova, because Ova's an outsider. Like, she's literally an alien. He wouldn't be scared of telling her.
You don't know that.
But in general, he's not gonna talk about his secret identity. But I feel like, maybe, I don't know. Nova.
Also, I feel like Quentin is really the only one who would have asked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, he's the only one.
Yeah, I feel like
enough to
he's
do
the one
so.
who would have cared. Yeah.
You don't ask
Enough
unless
to
you're
ask.
willing to be asked back.
Yeah, I don't mind. I don't even wear a mask.
Right. Okay, cool. So Quentin.
So, first question is, you hang out all the time with someone to blow off steam. Gonna make that over.
Okay, I could say that. What do you guys do to blow off steam?
What do we do, Ova?
Well, I have the
Steam.
solar
Things
energy, so since you can do like gravity and stuff, we can just like fuck with shit.
Yeah, so I use gravity and bend the light she's projecting.
Oh yeah, that's
make like these really cool light shows.
Yeah,
I really like that. That's really cool.
It seems like
sometimes we'll let people watch.
Yeah.
You once hurt someone when you lost control of your powers. Can it be the same person?
No. Another one. You use the same person for like 3 of your answers.
Let's say we brought the Doom to watch.
No!
And they're just doomed, and we accidentally hurt them.
I feel like the Beacon would be the one who would want to come to us because he's so fast.
That's true, yeah.
He's like, holy shit, cool.
And he sort of invited himself over when he somehow found out about our light shows.
I kind of sneaked out.
You guys weren't aware, so...
Right.
I kind of feel like once he hurt Mark with his powers, I feel like Quentin wouldn't have reacted like, oh, are you okay? He would have reacted more like, you shouldn't have been here in the first place. He just kind of like blew up on him because he's not like a super like you two.
Yeah, I suppose so. Like he does want to protect people, but it's not like he's gonna coddle everyone. Like if you're fucking around,
you get to be the annoying one. I love it.
I think it was. Yeah, it would be kind of like an extension of that. You were upset that you hurt someone because your whole thing is
not hurting people.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Okay, cool. And then Mark, what are your relationships?
So Mark thinks Sang Oka is awesome because of his power story and whatnot. So he pretty much like the superheroes that he saw on TV and whatnot, the powers. Like Mark has those kind of level of powers. He's like, holy shit, those are cool. I want to be best friends with this guy.
Cool.
And he wants to prove himself to Daniel because before he even he just wanted to do the hero thing because he looked cool and his father, but Daniel actually did it first, like the whole hero aspect. So he wants to prove that he can do it too without any powers.
I like that. I like that a lot. Okay. Cool. OVA relationships.
Okay.
So OVA, dude.
So you've been learning about Earth by spending time with. This one's really hard for me. Because I was thinking either I can go that I've been learning about. I think I'm gonna choose Dune because I feel like he has an understanding of everything. So because Sang.
Yeah.
Sorry, Sang. Because he not only. I could have put Quentin too because she's the one who she's spending time with him, but
that's right.
But then at the same time, the one below is you have a crush on someone, but you keep it under wraps. And I feel like she would have a crush on someone she's actually doing stuff like that with.
Now, who would want to have a crush on Sang?
I actually was thinking of him because he's Doom, and you know how girls like
the dark kid, yeah.
Doom
but then again, she's not an Earth girl, so
she's not an Earth girl, so she's
she hasn't even read Twilight.
Thank God for that.
She's learning about Earth through Sang because he not only has just the normal understanding of Earth with the high school life and just being a teenager, and how everything is, but he also has another aspect, someone who's actually troubled here on Earth, and she gets to kind of understand more than just one side about Earth, I think. So she learns more about it.
Oh, so we never found out how old Ova is.
Yeah, I said 14.
Said 14. Yeah.
14? Yeah. Okay.
I would be 16. I was on the edge, but I'll be 16. So everyone else is 15.
That's why she learns from him because he's wiser.
Just kidding. He's the wise old man of the group. At
16. 16 years old.
She has a crush on Quentin, but I keep it under wraps.
I know it now.
Too late. Exposed.
Okay, and Sang relationships.
Because we're so cool and all. I told Ova all about my Doom and the Danger Island.
That's how I learned about Earth from you.
Because of my Doom?
Well, I think probably her people handles death differently than people on Earth handle death.
Yeah, so I didn't feel like it was... I didn't feel like I would get judged. I wouldn't feel like she wouldn't pity me the same way like everyone else.
Yeah, like for.
And also, like, a lot of Earth she can get from just, like, walking around and looking at it, but death is something that she's not really able to learn about on her own. She would need one of you guys.
For us, the community is, like, what matters, not the individual. So, like, when someone dies, it's like, oh. I feel like it's not that big of a deal.
And why do I have to want to kiss someone?
It's the playbook you picked. I told you to look through the entire playbook before you picked it.
I mean, like, I'm not gonna, like, say no just because of that one.
Good lord.
You know what? I'll go with Mark.
Hello?
Oh.
No?
Like,
I am
hello.
as fuck. No? I'm a run.
But you're like, you look up to me, like...
Because you're a cool guy with awesome powers.
Yeah.
That's it.
Like, I
Well,
thought
Mark
you were, like,
doesn't
hitting
have
on
to-
me.
Mark
God.
doesn't know about it, really.
Yeah.
That is true. He's
Yeah.
oblivious.
Just before my Doom comes in.
That's kind of cute.
And now
Normally,
he's
I would
low-key
do
terrified.
Harley, but you know, like, I got mixed up sometimes.
It got too old. It got too old.
It got
He got too old.
Yeah.
You need a new unrequited love.
Yeah.
Well,
Oh,
Mark
God.
is the most popular right now with all of these.
I'm just a goofball
I
here.
think it makes sense because he's the one who's actively trying to.
To be a superhero, yeah.
Yeah, and he's actively trying to spend time with each of you because he looks up to all of you. So with that in mind, let's go into influence. Okay, so let's start with the Janus. So, what's your influence thing?
So I think I think Daniel would be most influenced by Tengu and Ova. Tengu because he's doomed, and that would kind of give Daniel kind of the, like, maybe this guy has his shit figured out because, he only has a limited amount of time left. And then Ova, he sees as a star traveler. So he's like, oh shit, she's not from here. She's gotta know all sorts of crazy shit about being a hero.
Okay.
Oh, you wanted that as a note. Okay. My bad.
Question.
Mine is crazy.
Question.
Yeah.
Actually, is everyone actually supposed to know that I'm actually doomed? Because one of
yeah.
the relations is just that I told Ova all about my doom and the danger. So then what does everyone else
I
know?
mean, they may not know the details of everything.
So just basically
You know that you have superpowers.
I'm on.
With it, yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Quentin.
For mine, I have to select my facade. And I selected the lockdown just because I earlier described him as that. So, one person who would have influence over me would be Ova, just because she's the only one I hang out with.
All right. Cool.
Which is great because you'll see when you get to
So
me.
why are you why are you so locked down? Why are you so closed off to your?
Oh, it's not like I'm antisocial or anything. I'm just a bit more quiet. Partially because of what happened with my sister. I hurt someone, so even though I want to protect people, in quotation mark, I don't want to interact with them as much because I think that they might get hurt around me.
Okay, cool. That makes sense. All right, Mark.
So, as I get influence over 3 people, so all 3 people would be Daniel because he's seen him do the superhero thing, and he's just like, holy shit, he's my age, he can do this, I can do this. And Nova, because his powers are freaking cool, after he saw the light
Quentin.
show.
Who's,
Quentin.
yeah, I was like,
We keep calling him
Quentin.
Nova.
I was confused when I saw Nova.
Yeah, I'm so used to like the whole alright, Quentin. Yeah, after seeing the light show, he was impressed, and he's been kind of like doing research on like more superpowered people, and he's into it, and he's just like, okay, one day I'll have superpowers. One day,
So you're Deku.
kinda. And then Sang.
Oh, so you're not
because
just trying to be a hero; you're also trying to get superpowers yourself.
if he can, yes.
Oh, okay.
And Sang, because of his like, well, even though they're pretty much like junior level, Sang's power he compares it to like the silver or golden age heroes because it's that broken for him, and that's
Okay.
why.
Cool. So yeah, I mean, you would have everybody would have influence over you because
I'm pretty much the new kid.
Because you're like really psyched to be there.
Me.
He's a space girl.
Yeah.
Yeah,
no, it says you're thrilled to be here. Give everyone influence over you.
That's mine, Julio.
Oh.
That's why I was just. I was like.
Okay. Cool. So Ova.
Everyone has influence over me.
She's so cheerful.
Yeah.
So literally Starfire.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Yeah, kind of.
We're pretty much the Teen Titans right now.
I feel like I'm not. Oh yeah, I guess I am like her because she's kind of detached from her feelings in like some ways. That's how she.
Almost the Teen Titans.
Kinda, we are.
We just don't have a Beast Boy.
I'm thrilled to be here. So I give everyone influence over me because I'm just like, I don't know what the fuck's going on, guys. So what do I do?
Well, also, you're not really familiar with Earth, so when somebody tells you something...
That's what I mean.
All right.
Everyone else is just lost.
So
yeah, what are you guys talking about?
Yeah. They have insider talk, god damn it.
Why can't we be included?
So sing.
Oh, right, me. These people matter for what I need to do. What do I need to do? Bring justice.
Well, I mean, what you need to do is defeat your nemesis, right?
Yes. Justice. Who is most important?
I would think the strongest of, like, whichever superhero is, like, strongest or more knowledgeable.
Or even the ones that embody that justice that you're seeking.
Yeah, so I think for sure Mark, because it seems like he's, I don't know, maybe him?
The sense of justice?
And then maybe Quentin
Tarantino.
Because I feel like with Rapidus, you don't really know. Yeah.
Rapidus.
I want to say Rapidus, but I'm like, you don't really know. So, like.
This is true.
So yourself, then.
Yourself.
Over myself.
No, so then Mark, right?
The voice is inside.
Who is, like, kind of embodying the true superhero. You know, or, like, the ideal superhero. In a way.
Right. Yep. Okay. So I'll put Sanctum and Quiver.
Okay. I believe that's it for character creation.
All right. Let's start the first episode, guys.
All right.
You wish, but no. We will see you guys again with session 1 here in a couple of weeks. Thank you guys so much for listening. Please go ahead and follow us at CryptVales Inc. on Instagram and on Twitter. You can follow me at HailJulio on Twitter and at HailJulio1 on Instagram. And Susie, where can we find you?
At Susi Possum on Twitter and at Susi_Possum on the Insta.
And where can we find Farhan?
At Farhan Isaac for both Twitter and Instagram.
And where can we find Nidakin?
Capitan Naho on Instagram and Twitter.
And where can we find Ariz?
You can find me at Ariz_Hater at Twitter.
And where can we find Harley?
Find me on the Instagram at HDR. Check the show notes for the spelling, because it's a little bit different.
Akhdiyar.
And you can find...
that is it for us. We will see you guys in a couple weeks.
You can find Farthand on Farthand.
Thanks for listening, guys. Bye.